You know, this is like kind of my dream build. If I was able to build whatever I wanted to, this is about it right here. Why now? I had the opportunity to work with Marvel. Built in 1923, and they came to me to do the big build. Every fastener, every nut and bolt was done at the same time that this car would have been built originally. My name is Max Herman. I'm part of H&H. I head up the four-banger division. I've been doing it myself for about 20 years now. The ultimate goal for this car is to win. You know, and that comes so much further down from when you start. So this is the body that we're going to run on the race car. This is a 1923 Model T Ford body. This will give it a real nice stance and a good look for the car. These are 1932 frame rails. The reason why we picked the 1932 rails is because they're so iconic with the swoopy nose and the nice indentation on the side. The 32 cars were much bigger, much wider than the Model Ts. So I had to heat them up, pie cut them, bend them, twist them, and shape them so they match the body line of the T. On a frame rail, you can be an 1/8 inch off here, a 1/16 off there, and you can't see it visually. But when you build an engine, you're talking about 2 to 3 thousandths of an inch of tolerance on a main bearing, on a rod bearing, on the cylinder wall. And if you miss any of those, it'll tear the motor to pieces in the first 5 minutes of running it.
I'm measuring this little snap gauge. It's got a spring with a plunger right here. The plunger comes out and touches the other side of the bore. And then you measure between there and it'll tell you how big your bore is. This is a 1932 Model B motor. We are converting it to a twin cam overhead Hal cylinder head. This was a Model B diamond block that was standard bore, standard deck height, standard everything that I had sitting on the shelf for a long time for a special build, and here we are. Even this one's too big, and the bearing won't fit in the hole. These things ran a flat top 4 1/4 to 1 compression piston in it originally. So we're stepping it up leaps and bounds. If your cross hatch marks are too much of an angle, the oil will run out of the cylinder and you can end up burning some pistons. This thing's built to rip. This is pretty close to as big as it gets.
He's not conservative when it comes to racing. He builds them big. He maxes them out. When he helped me build my first engine, I said, I don't want the pistons that big. He made them as big as they can go.
There you go.
There it goes.
Is that all you got?
It's all, it's pushed.
Okay.
Bottomed out. All that oil on my face made me lose my thought.
This is the one that's hard visually to see for you.
A whole bunch of... Got it. That last one, huh?
Nope, one more.
I think our shortest day was an 8-hour day, and really close to 16-hour days is like the longest. It's gotta be fixed.
Stop. Everybody stop.
When you start trying to squeeze a bunch of horsepower out of something that never was designed to get it, there's issues sometimes. Keep going, buddy.
Oh boy.
You go until it's like almost locked. You know what I mean?
Stop, okay. If we can get one to stop, we can get the second.
Yeah, exactly.
You're always a little nervous because so much time and effort and money and you know, and everybody's got all these hopes and dreams for you that you really want it to do good. But there's always, like, you know, we're working with stuff that's 90 years old. You know, there's always a chance that something's not going to go right, which is hey, that's racing.
Did you get the spring on?
Yeah, I just hooked it to the other. We need to put that piece on though.
I know, it's too tight.
Give it a little bit of spacing so it's framed nice.
Yeah, so yeah, nice frame on the.
And this will be purple and hot pink.
Oh, for you, buddy.
I went and looked at the Marvel logo, and I picked us 3 different styles. We have that one that's kind of a little more vintage, more historical, more hand painted, more hand lettered, older. If you look at most race lettering and stuff like that, I feel like it's not even there at all. You can see on Max other cars, there's no outline. But this is extra special.
No, I think it should follow this.
Yeah, that's where it's at now.
You definitely don't keep it in line with the hairpins, and the frame's doing this.
Everything in those are going down like that.
No, this needs to stay where it's at.
Sounds good.
Yeah, maybe come down just like, nah.
Good, huh?
Yeah, it's good.
It's like getting a bunch of Legos, and like at first you got a big old pile of stuff just laying on the ground, and then you start actually getting them together, and it starts taking form to the picture on the box, and you're like, hey man, this is like kind of satisfying. So once you start putting all the time and effort and your brains and your know-how and your work and your sweat and blood and tears and into the build, and then you see it coming alive, that's probably the best way.
Step is throw it on a trailer, send it over to Jersey, and go rip some sand. I know we're gonna have a competitive car out there, so you know, I'm not worried about performance, but still you got to be able to drive the car down the track.
Hey Jeremy, are you ready? Let's go. I got you.
That was second gear.
It was a full car length,
Yeah,
dude.
second gear. And then I had to shift. And then that's when it all went. Bop, 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 bop.
Well, we lost compression. He went from second, tried to get into third, and right at that time, it just crawled to a stop. Yep. I would close it right back.
So we got the cam timing marks back lined up here. We should be able to fire this thing up and keep timing, no problem. One more run. One more run. Yeah, we're good. Awesome. Ford built these cars and motors super tough with all sorts of forged parts, great materials. They've lasted almost 100 years. And that goes hand in hand with the Marvel Mystery Oil Company, built in 1923 and still is on the shelf. There's 100% correlation between the two.